Welcome to another episode of Diaspora. Today I have the pleasure of talking to my good friend Elizabeth. Elizabeth is originally from South Sudan. So let's start from there. So what city in South Sudan are you from?
I'm from Malut.
Malut.
Yeah.
All right. So for someone that doesn't know, South Sudan. South Sudan is part of Sudan, right?
Yes.
Okay, but it's its own country now, right?
Yeah. We became our own country in 2019. No, 2011 actually. So it was one Sudan, but when we moved to Ethiopia, in 2011, South Sudan became its own country,
Right.
which I never been there.
You've never been there?
No.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Eh, Okay, so you grew up in Mal. You say you were born in Malut.
No, so I was born in Sudan. So a long time ago was only Sudan.
Okay.
Um, and I was born in different city, which is like Khartoum, so the capital city of Sudan. And then we moved from Sudan to Ethiopia, and I never been to Sudan.
Wow. So how young were you when you guys moved?
I think I was like three,
Three. Oh,
three.
okay.
Yeah.
So where you were born on the map, is it like north? Is it like west? Like what part of Sudan is it if you can
I think
geographical?
north
North
side.
side?
Yeah, and it was only one Sudan at that time, but I can't remember Khartoum where it's located.
Right.
But yeah, it was the north side.
So what city were you guys living in Ethiopia?
We were in refugee camp.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
So
let's get to the hard one straight up. So you were three, your parents, I'm assuming your parent, your mom,
yeah.
is migrating from Sudan
hmm
to Ethiopia. So
Yeah.
do you know why she was migrating?
Um well, I remember well the whole story actually cuz there were a war. I don't know what was the cause. But that night, I remember my everybody was actually leaving. My parents wake me up and my siblings that we were leaving, because the country was just on fire, and we had to leave. And my mom had like twins; they were like 2 months, and we had to move. Like we have to leave that night right away. And I remember my parents were told that there was this a leader that was taking like kids that didn't have parents, you know. They were told that my mom couldn't go with them because she has twins and because they're afraid if, like the rebels hear them, they would actually follow us and kill us. So my parents have, we have to walk by ourselves.
You have to walk by yourself
Yeah.
from Sudan to
To
another.
Ethiopia. So we have to walk from Sudan to Ethiopia, which like take more than I believe 2 months, more than 2 months. Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how did you guys survive? Like, what do you guys eat? I mean, I'm assuming because you say you guys just left, right?
Mm-hmm. It was difficult because we had some food from the beginning, but it did not, last. I remember my mom selling my clothes, my shoes, everything that I had just to buy me food. And it was sad because a lot of people die, from hunger, medical. Like my dad, best friend, died because he was not feeling, he was sick, and then there's no medical, there's no food, there's no water, so he passed, But
And
we,
like, this was on the road.
yeah, on the road, so we had to leave him, and just keep going.
That is
Yeah,
that is a lot.
it's a lot.
So you were saying like you guys have no food. Like how who's helping your mom carry like your your
The twins.
siblings? Yeah.
My mom has, the basket. So the twin were in the basket, and she was carrying them on
On
her
a
head. Yeah, and then she had like um, you know, some food in there, and then I had a donkey, so my donkey was helping me.
Right.
But and then he died. I don't know what happened. He jumped in the fire or he got shot, but I don't know. He died on the road. Then my dad has to help me sometime, but he was helping his best friend because his best friend was really
Pretty
sick.
sick.
Yeah.
And you were seeing all this as young as
Yeah.
you were.
3 years old. I remember everything. Yeah.
That's
It's
just,
crazy.
that's just nuts.
Hmm.
So, do you guys receive any help on the road, or do you guys meet other people that kind of help you on the road? I mean, 2 months working, like just kind of take me through that. So, like, were you guys just like working as far as you can, or were you every day? And
Yeah, we just keep going, and at night we will just like find like a safe place to spend the night and just keep going. Um, I believe my parents didn't eat maybe because like I remember my mom sold my clothes and my shoes to buy me food. There were like few like town that we have to stop and go there and like ask for food, but they have to sell everything, so they were not helping. But I remember when we came to Kurmuk, which is like town that my parents know people. That's where my mom got help, before we went to refugee camp.
wow,
Yeah,
that is a lot.
it
I
is a
can't even
lot.
imagine that.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
it is.
So, after you guys made it to the refugee camp,
Mhm.
so describe the refugee because I watched some YouTube video,
Mhm.
which I know like kind of I think it's like Vice. I don't know if you've seen that one about like the South Sudan. There was a refugee camp that was inside South Sudan that was kind of like created. I don't know. I think around 2005 or something. Well, I forgot when. But anyway, the last
Okay.
when the last civil war broke out, I think maybe
Uh huh.
2014 or something like that.
2014.
Yeah, but it's inside South Sudan. It's actually a refugee camp that was created so that the UN is kind of guiding so that the rebels can
Mhm.
come to kill people in there basically
Yeah.
because it's kind of like a civil war. I myself don't know much about
Yeah, I don't
the
know so
war.
much about South Sudan either. Even I'm from there because I was in Ethiopia and during the war actually, which is because I remember one time we were in Addis, right, in Addis Ababa, and then my dad got sick. We had to leave. He didn't want to stay there. Actually, I will talk about that later on. So we were like, he wanted to go, like he wanted to leave at all, like he wanted to leave Ethiopia, and there was fighting. I don't know much about refugee camp in South Sudan
Right.
because sometimes you can't be a refugee in your own country.
Yeah. I mean, that's what
Yeah.
I thought. I don't. I
Mhm.
don't.
So I never
It
heard
doesn't make no
about
sense.
because a lot of people were like going to different country like
Countries.
yeah,
Yeah.
which is like Kenya,
Right.
Ethiopia,
Right. Well,
Uganda.
I guess that's why I'm asking because anyways, the one I saw in South Sudan. I mean, they live in the standard of living is pretty poor. People are living in tents. I mean, the one I've seen, I don't think I've ever seen a
Mhm.
5-star refugee camp.
Yeah,
Right?
no.
It's always like just
Yeah.
crazy. It seems like something that was done overnight. Like it
Yeah.
was never something that was well thought out. So you're a kid, 4 or 5 years old. So how was the refugee camp? What was that like?
Refugee camp like from the first time when I was young, it was fun, because I didn't have to worry about the whole,
Mm.
everything, and I did not understand the life. So when I was young, I enjoy, the life. It was fun, but life was not easy. It was difficult. You can't work. Your parents cannot work. We get like free food from UN, which is like once a month, and it's on your own if you know everything like and then yeah, it was not really easy. It was not easy, but it was safe.
Was you at
Yeah.
least you felt safe?
Yeah.
There was no war or
Mm-hmm.
nothing.
No war.
Well, in the refugee camps, was there like crime committed in there? Is that people stealing people's stuff?
Oh my god, yes. There was, people fighting. Um but they will get arrested if you, also it wasn't that much because, like in Africa, when you do something that upset others, the elders will sit you down, the community,
Right.
and talk you and, ask and tell you what you did was not right and you should change your way. So there was like few people, but that was not the big problem because everybody was just suffering. The life was not even easy to even do crazy stuff. So
Right.
everybody was just trying.
Do you get to like explore out of the refugee camp you guys are in, or is that where you have to stay all the time?
No, I never been to anywhere when I was in refugee camp for 15 years. I never been anywhere.
You were there for
Like,
15 years.
yeah, like you can go and you can go, but especially like going to Sudan, it was not easy either because the border, they ask you so many questions. First, if you wanted to leave refugee camp, you have to ask permission to leave, and so there's like different zone that they put like you know the people that speak same language have their own zone. So sometimes, so they're like 5 6 zones. Sometime when you're asking for permission to go in town, they will give like only permission for 3 people on each zone, and only once a week. So if you miss that, you can't get a permission, you can't go anywhere. So it's actually whoever went first will get that permission to go anywhere, but for just only a few days. So
That's crazy.
yeah.
So basically, you're a kid, you're in Ethiopia, but also you're not in Ethiopia because you can't just get out and your parent can't even take you out and go get you
No,
something outside.
no. Couldn't go anywhere. Can't even work. You can't be a citizen.
Right.
They were really mean. It's just, but it was safe. That's why a lot of people, were there. And school, even the school was not that really good, but at least there's something to do, and it was safe because like in South Sudan there was so much war, people fighting all the time. It's like you have to run every night. You can't even sleep. So, but yeah.
So tell me about the school. I think we kind of talked about that.
Oh
I think the
yeah,
first time we met.
school was fun. Actually, I had so much fun. Like, I'm an active person, so I play a lot of sports, a lot of games with my friend, my cousin, everybody that I know. And but school was, it was okay. It was not the best. So we have
So what
from
do you mean by
first,
that? It's not the best. Like, who are the teachers?
well, because the teacher, some of them do not even like graduate from high school. So let's say if you finish like 10 grades, you can teach. You can come back and teach. Or if you fail, you can come back and teach the other student.
So are there teachers also from the refugee camp?
Yes,
So they don't allow like teachers to come from Ethiopia to come teach students in the refugee camp.
they do. So some of them were like, there's like Ethiopian, they'll come and teach there. But also there was like teachers from, from the camp. But it was not the best because some of the teacher did not even finish college, and they can come back and teach, and they didn't even like it because that's the only thing they were allowed to do.
Hmm.
Like that's the only thing they could do. um but yeah, school was, just writing, and like if you don't know something, if the teacher asks you, they will beat you up. Like I remember in second grade, like if the teacher calling out your name and being kids playing around with friends and you didn't hear or say in here in the classroom, he will like, or if you miss, I think if you miss one day, and the next day he will ask you like why you didn't come to school, and then if you like said something about like it's a family, he will like beat you up. So teacher were really mean.
Yeah, they
They
were.
think like it's the only way of teaching, or but we don't learn anything from being beaten.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry that they weren't really teaching you right. But in terms of teachers being mean, I think that's all over Africa. It
Yeah,
doesn't
I
matter where.
know, I know,
It
I know.
doesn't matter
Yeah,
where. I think teachers might probably have like not paid as good as they should. And looking back now, they think they were helping us, but it seems like they're taking out their frustration out on us.
exactly. Yes.
But even though you were here in a refugee camp, do you still kind of have a like a one sec? Aries, what do you want? Come on. You just want attention.
Yeah.
Just a second. All right,
Sure,
you got
that's
a car break.
fine. Sure. Yeah.
It's all good. I'm gonna leave in there. All right. So even though you were living in this refugee camp, do you think like your childhood was too normal, or were you? Do you know at a very early? Do you know very on like, oh, this is weird, or was it just a normal life for you
It
when you
was
were there?
not really normal because um it was not normal because there were so many um struggle, like as a kid. Well, like I said about my brother that with disability, I had to take care of him. And to go to school, I have to take him to his class. And then if he wanted to use restroom, someone from his class would come and call me out of my class. And then I have to take him to the restroom.
You didn't even help out.
No, nobody was helping. So I went through a lot of things as kids, and that you know were not normal because I saw some of my cousins or people around me living a normal life, but refugee camp life is not normal.
Right.
Yeah, it's not.
I mean, I can imagine having like people that used to work and now they can't work and they have to wait for food. And having food once a month doesn't sound like a very good option.
Yeah, and they will even cut your food because UN is actually working a lot, but people from Ethiopia will cut
Cut the food, right?
cut the food, and you know,
Isn't that
yeah,
the craziest thing
yeah,
when people are trying to help and some other people will just selfishly take from
yes.
people that don't even have?
So it's a business. It's just a way of building their own country, but which is like they even try like to take the refugee out of their country, and they were like, okay, you should try us. How are you gonna take them out? Because I remember like they were really, but what can you do when your own country is not focusing on like building the country and getting helping people? So
Wow,
yeah.
that's crazy.
Hmm.
All right, so let's segue a bit back to South Sudan. So from I'm assuming um even though you were in Ethiopia and you were in a refugee camp in Ethiopia, your family and your mom and dad still practice South Sudanese culture, right?
Yes,
So,
pretty much.
so what tribe are you?
We're Dinka. I'm
You're Dinka.
Dinka. Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And what are the two or three dominant ethnic groups? I know you guys have like 64, I think, over
Oh
64.
yeah, yeah. So there's Nur, there's Shuluk, there's Maban, there's Katoria. There's a lot.
That's a
There's
lot.
Choli. There is a lot of other that I don't know because I never been to South
Okay.
Sudan. I know only few.
Right.
But yeah.
So if you have to tell someone like me that doesn't know anything about Dinka culture, so what would you think is the biggest thing about Dinka culture?
That's a good question. Think you would actually I would say they have marks.
Marks like in their face,
Yeah.
like trouble marks.
Yeah, so it
Mm.
would be on their foreheads, um, like my parents, or you will get your tooth removed on your lower. The culture is different. What else should I think that's it. I'm not really into
No,
it.
I guess I asked the question also wrong. And
Yeah.
thank you for the facial features. I guess
Mhm.
what I'm trying to ask is, for example, like your let me give you an example, like
Mhm.
Yoruba culture, we're very like the big thing in our culture is like being scholars, like going to school,
Mhm.
education.
Yeah.
Whereas like Igbo culture, Nigeria, they're very more business oriented. Like they're just very good at business decisions.
Mhm.
The Hausa culture, which I'm speaking from an outsider,
Mm-hmm.
it's more of like they don't really like a lot of materialistic things. They're more worried about like living for the day and
Mm-hmm.
taking care of their family. I think that's kind of what I'm trying to
Yeah. Oh,
ask.
okay. Okay. Um, that would actually depend on the family too, because
Right,
like there will be like my family, they're like a business, they're like all into business. Um, but long time ago, like really, I would say nobody care about like. But I know everybody want their kids to be educated, get a good job, and do well in life. Um, I would say, yeah, my parents would say they wanted the same, but sometimes it's hard for to support like kids because they just want you to do things by your own so that you can succeed. So,
right,
yeah.
right. But in the refugee camp, the people of Dinka that comes together, in the refugee camp that you see, like what are the normal things that they do? Like, do they do cultural things like just give me a little example of which one you
So,
remember.
culture thing, we eat together. Men's do eat by themselves.
Right.
So it would be like family or neighbors, and then women's, eat together. So that's like a culture thing.
So women and men don't eat together?
No,
Really?
yeah, is yeah, no.
Okay.
The men sit up by their own place. Um, the time woman will go is only to give them food and go collect the dishes. That's it. And also, um, I remember me and my sibling, we used not to sleep in the same room. So my
Right.
brothers will sleep with, you know, by their own, and even when we were young.
Right.
So that's like a culture thing. It's kind of like a respect, but
Right.
I don't know. Another culture thing is, well, in refugee camp, people come together and celebrate, do culture dancing,
Nice.
um, or um, or if someone actually from like maybe from state go there, people gather together and
Right.
kind of like
Celebrate them.
yeah, of coming back. What else? Culture thing. That's a lot actually. I'm kind of forgetting, because like when you don't really talk about things, you kind of
Right.
like forget.
Forget, right? You didn't get
Yeah.
to converse about
Yes,
them often.
exactly. So been a minute actually. So
Thank
that's a good question. It's making
you.
me thinking.
Thank you. So
Yeah.
what would you say like is like the top food for your tribe? Like think like what is like your favorite food?
My favorite food.
Or like people mostly eat. Like if I go to like a Dinka party,
Mm-hmm.
I should be expecting this.
Like our culture food, like traditional food, are really assume a lot of time to like to make
To
it.
make them?
Yeah, to make them. So sometimes people don't really like, because the generation is changing.
Right.
So sometimes they will not have like traditional food.
Right.
But if you go, it would be like either there is like a sita, a cope, or well, a kisra. you know I don't know, it's
Can you
totally
explain
different.
one of them for me? Like what
It's
it's
kind of
like?
like injera,
Oh,
if you know
okay.
injera.
I
Yeah.
think I know injera. And
Yeah, it's
for someone that doesn't know
kisra.
injera, it's like
Yeah.
how would you
Tape.
describe? Kind
Tape,
of like
yeah.
very
Sour and
sour, but it's kind of feels like an omelette
yeah.
in texture, but it's black. But also
Yeah.
it's like it's not omelette because it's
Hmm.
kind of from like I think
Yeah.
cassava or something.
They
But
have different color.
yeah, but
Yeah.
it's very
Yeah.
very soft
Hmm.
and it tastes like nothing. I
Yeah.
think right.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be used to eat with other things, right?
Different. Yeah.
Like soups and all that.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
what is it like your favorite soup from home?
From Ethiopia,
Or
I
from
I like spicy food. It will
nice.
be like kaiwad, or I like chips. Tips is not spicy, but definitely kaiwad is my favorite.
Kai, what was in it?
It's it's a meat cooked with a lot of spices.
Nice.
Yeah, it's very spicy.
Very spicy.
Yeah, very spicy.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. I can't even imagine like all the things you've
Yeah,
gone
I
through,
know.
and that's just I feel like you just dropped a lot for
Yeah.
me right there. But so how do you think your family were doing when you guys were there?
was well, my mom was trying. She did, a lot of things. She had like a small business
In the refugee camp?
in refugee camp. Yeah, like she will. Um, a lot of people really like my mom. She made a lot of friends, and sometimes she will like, make a deal and buy some stuff from them, and then she will resell them. So she was trying, but life was not, But at least I remember she was trying her
But she
best.
was resourceful.
Yeah.
Right. I guess the next thing I was gonna ask you is talking about your mom. So how is Dinka culture with women? Because you just tell me that women can see with men. So do you think? And I'm not saying you are. I'm not trying to make you attack your culture, because I mean, of course, all our culture have the good and bad. But I'm just saying,
Mhm.
like, how was growing up in that kind of setting where women are kind of like left behind and you can't
Yeah.
even do a lot.
Right. Um Before I would say like if I didn't come here, I would not really um know a lot or know better. Um but it's I would say women do almost everything and men don't do anything. And I do not like my culture that much. There's so much rules and sometimes don't make sense, and it's
Right.
just because it's been a culture thing for a very long time and they just want everyone to follow it. Even some of them are not really okay, and especially for women, especially like let's say in my culture, men will get married to how many wives? A lot, and they will just leave the women with kids struggling, and I do not really like that.
Right.
Yeah, like you should just like there is nothing wrong with getting, having a big family or how many wives you wanted to get married to, but not taking care of the kids, I just don't like that part.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess we can both agree that
Mm-hmm.
our culture served us through generations, but some part of it, some people use it, just like everything that
Yeah.
is good to their
Mm-hmm.
benefit, and they just use it as an excuse to not do what they're supposed to do.
Exactly.
So, I mean, I don't also agree with people that have. It happens in my culture too. People that have multiple wives and they have no means of how to take care of those kids, so they have no
Mm-hmm.
plan of what they're gonna do for those kids, and
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, so that's crazy. So, do you think, coming from that, and when you were there, were you just more reserved to do things or to try things or to even like talk? Like I was gonna ask, like, do you ever have it? Because I'm trying to ask this because I don't. Me and my dad, even though my dad was a man,
Mm-hmm.
from Yoruba question, I can't handpick how many times maybe we have a one-on-one conversation. I don't
Yeah.
think it ever happened. While he was alive, R.I.P.
Mm-hmm.
So I was gonna ask, like, do you ever have this kind of interaction with like your dad? Like you guys have a
Yes.
conversation?
Yeah. With my dad, it was a lot because he was like a controlling, you
Oh,
know. So I guess he was trying to like I don't know what he was trying to do or teach me better, but he was, I guess he overprotects,
right,
and that really damaged our relationship because
right,
like he will really sit me down or my friends and he would just throw things, say anything
right.
or but we definitely used to have like sit down and talk all the time, but which is not my favorite thing.
I bet.
Yeah.
All right, so let's segue from that. I think we've got enough of
Yeah.
that part. Now talk about, when did it occur to you that you might be able to come to America? And I want you to try and remember, if you can remember, the first time you ever see anything or something that can connect you to America.
Nothing at all. I If it was not because of my brother to come here to seek doctor, I wouldn't be here.
Wow.
Yeah. So
So the biggest responsibility you took off, in a
yeah.
way, kind of like
Mhm.
lead you to be
Yeah.
able to come
So
here.
after my mom tried, while I was there with her, going to different country looking for a doctor for my brother, she couldn't find a solution. So in refugee camp, sometime they have those cases, and so you will go to them if you need help. And also my brother would know, because they have programs, where they help family or people with disability. So my brother got his case from the UN, for him to come here, and maybe they asked my parents if we all wanted to come here, or they said we could come. So that was the reason we all came here.
So when did they tell you? Like, do you remember when they tell you you're coming to America?
Long time. So it took us 10 years to come here.
What? So you
Yeah.
guys started the process of trying to come,
Yes.
and then it took you
10
10 years.
years to come here.
So that
Yeah.
is ridiculous.
Yeah.
One,
It
two
is.
is like during those 10 years, like were you still hoping you guys gonna go, or like what was happening, like for you in your mind?
To be honest, it was stressful because they don't tell you when you're gonna go.
Right.
So the only time they will come and call, it will be like, "Oh, you going to the medical check," and then we will go. We did medical checks so many times. But also another reason was every time my mom will have like another child, we have to start over
Again.
everything. Yeah, because they wanted the child to be included. Otherwise, that child would not come if we had to. Um, and we started when I think it was like in 2014, and when we started, and it was just, and then my mom had like I think two kids after that, and we have to start over and over, you know. But I just didn't know what was happening. They just don't say it. Um, it became annoying. Sometimes we forgot, we
Just
just, yeah.
just thought it was like a
Yeah.
pipe dream, kind of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just like, oh, that's not gonna happen, so we're not gonna go. So we sometimes just like didn't worry about it, but mess up my school so much because every time I'm at school and then I have to leave for medical. And medical is like, you know, in Addis Ababa, which is like 2 days on the bus from refugee camp. And we will stay there for 4 weeks or more than 4 weeks. Yeah. So when I have to come back, I miss so much school. Either have to start over, or it was so annoying. So at the end, I was just didn't want to come here anymore. That
Right.
was the year they called us actually. But before that, in 2011, they actually called us. They were like, "Oh, you guys are leaving to the U.S. Everything is ready." But then when we came to Addis Ababa, they told us they changed the plans. They were like, "Oh, you guys," they lie about something that my dad had, and which was not true. So we have to stay after we give everything away, our houses, clothes, everything. We went to the city not knowing anyone, not having anything, and we have to start a new life there. And we went there you know, just for like
To leave.
to leave.
And they do that a lot. Like they would tell people they find something on them and it's nothing.
Yes, which actually caused almost kill my dad because after we stayed there for months, they lie about something that my dad had, and sometime when the doctor tell you you have something, you agree with them, right? Because
Right.
they're doctors, you don't know anything. So my dad agreed, and he was taking medication. And life was not easy nowadays because we were not working. So we were like getting money from UN, but it was not enough. So my dad, sometimes we don't have enough food. So like when we get the money, we buy food and pay for the rent and everything. And then at the end, it's not even enough because I have big family, you know.
Right.
So um,
How many in total are you guys?
we are nine. So there was like nine of
Nine
us.
of us in
Yeah,
in our known country with no
yeah.
job
No
and
job, no
give away
nothing.
everything.
Yeah. Um, so my dad was taking medication, and one day it just the medication become too much. My mom told him that he should stop taking meds because like he was not eating good food, not sleeping in a comfortable place. But he refused. So one time he just clapped, fell down. So my mom had to take him to the hospital. I remember that night she didn't have money. We didn't have money. So she literally, and language too, because like in Ethiopia, they speak Amharic. And we don't speak Amharic because we were like in refugee camp and they don't teach Amharic in refugee camp. So she had to literally, I don't know how she did it, but she had to talk to the bus driver. And it was difficult because she didn't have money. He was going to help, but finally she found like someone that helped her. And took my dad to the hospital. My dad was like a dead person, that night. Like literally, he didn't even remember what happened to him. So she took him to the hospital, but thank God he woke up the next day. But he lost like one part, like the right part, from hearing, the arm,
Probably have a stroke.
everything. Yeah. Um, but it was from them lying that there was something wrong with him. But they moved him to different hospital actually, which is like a Chinese hospital, biggest hospital in Addis Ababa. So they actually found that whatever they give him was, and he doesn't have what they claim that he had. So and
I mean, misdiagnosing works happens here too, but
mm-hmm.
it happens so often in like Africa, and it's just I don't get it. And maybe because there's nobody that's gonna like check to kind of there's not like a board of
Mm-hmm.
doctors to kind of. I mean, I think there are, but it's you know what I mean.
Yeah,
It's
right.
just not as
Yeah,
strict.
like there is no checkup, someone telling you there is something before you should take medicine. Um, but yeah, it happened a lot.
That's crazy. So
Yeah.
after he got better, so then what was the next thing?
Um, well, after he got better, he just wanted to leave and go to South Sudan. He didn't want to come here anymore because but after we had to go back to refugee camp because living in
Addis Ababa was
yeah, it
just
was it was stressful, you know. Then we had to go back to refugee camp, start over again, and then I think in a few months we had to come back for a medical, and then in a year that's when they told us that we were coming here. So which was we were not even excited
at
because
that point.
yeah,
It's just
that
it
point, yeah, yeah,
was beyond.
yeah. That year I was gonna go to South Sudan. I just finished school,
You were gonna
and
go
then
back.
yeah, I was gonna go to South Sudan and not come back again. So I had a plan with my friend. We were gonna walk to, because that's the only way you can
You were
go.
gonna work.
Yeah, walk actually to South Sudan because the border is there. But also, if you want to fly, you have to have money. So, but yeah, it was funny.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Is your friends still back in refugee camp or are they back in South Sudan now?
Uh, People are really start to get tired over there because everything is just changing and nothing is helping. So I had some friends that even came here, go to, South Sudan, or they just still. Sometimes they'll go to South Sudan and still come back, because
Right.
literally there is nothing for them there. Is when you grow up in a different country and then you're trying to go even in your own country too, it's not easy
Right.
because you have to get used to it, or it just feel weird. So you just want to go back to your comfortable life,
Right.
where you get used to it. Yeah.
So you just think like the reason why you guys were thinking of going back to South Sudan is because you just want a place that is like yours, cause
Yeah, yeah. Because most of my family are in South Sudan. So
or like your extended family,
yeah.
they're still there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys call them, talk to them on the phone? Do you know who they are?
Yes. Well, this was after we came here. Actually, I didn't know some because in refugee camp we don't have internet, so there's no way
There's
to
no
do.
internet there.
No,
There's
but
no
it just
TV.
came. No, long time ago we didn't have internet at all. But now it's everything is changing.
It's
So
changing that.
yeah, there's internet. So I remember there was only like I think one or two TV, and then the whole
The whole place.
the whole place will come wanted to watch. It was crazy. Yeah, so we didn't have TV growing up
So do
this
you
way.
watch TV now?
Not a lot.
Because you're just not used to it, right?
Kind of, but I'm a book person. I like
Mm.
to read more than just watching.
Why do you think that?
Um, well, because I like to learn something from the books, and there's some things from TV that are not true. It's just like to keep you, I don't know.
Entertain?
Yeah, but there's some show that I do like to watch,
Like
just
what?
maybe like comedy.
Oh,
That's
okay.
like my favorite. I like to laugh a lot. Um, but yeah, I'm not a really TV person.
Wow.
Yeah,
So when you get here, what states do you guys first got? Like when you landed, do you remember what state you guys landed in?
that's a good question. I'm really still trying to figure it out. It's either California or New York.
Oh, you didn't know, right? Because
I
you've
didn't
never.
know. I
So,
didn't
and
know.
then I would ask you, were you freaked out on the plane? I mean, your first time flying, right?
Yes, that was first time, but not really. But my sibling were, they were. Even my brother, he put like the headphones, and he was listening to music,
Right.
and it started to hurt his ears. So he was crying and crying. Um, but it was scary for the first time, and it was a long flight.
Like yeah,
I felt like it was days actually.
yeah,
Yeah,
probably
because we keep moving from one plane to different one. It
right.
just took forever, and somewhere either New York before we had to fly to here in Spokane. We had to wait for, and we were so tired. We almost lost our sister, my sister. Yeah, because every airport we go, they will sit down and just you know
Is that someone helping you guys though? Did they have someone that kind of show you guys around?
no,
You have to just figure it all out.
nobody. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm assuming like you've learned English from refugee. I'm assuming that, but do you learn English from refugee camp, or do you
Not
learn English
really.
here?
Well, because we learned how to write and read in English,
Okay,
but it was not enough because like we talk in our own language, or either Arabic. But I had to learn English when I came here.
that's crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
But that first year in were you in high school when you get here?
Yes, I was in high school when I came here. I had to start in near Cameron Center, which was kind of crazy, because I lost all my certificate from school. They actually got lost when we were in Addis somehow. So I didn't have anything to prove that I was in 10th grade. So I have to start over.
You have to
Also with
start
my
over from where?
from ninth grade.
Oh,
Like
again.
yeah, again. I was so mad, but also they have to test you or exam you before, and but school year is better. Even I had to start over. I think I needed
You
it. So
enjoy.
yeah.
So, your first day in school.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I have literally African thinking because
Tell me about
a
it.
lady from the Water Leaf, she just no, it was a volunteer from Water Leaf actually dropped me off, and I walked to school, and the first thing I saw, it was these two American boys. They were on the floor playing with each other, and I was like, what are they doing? Like, they're grow up, like they shouldn't be on the floor. Like, what are
Right.
they doing? And then I was so lost, I didn't know where to go. So I went to a student office, and then they called my teacher, and she came. I think she came to get me, and then we walked. And I was in the classroom. I was so nervous. I didn't know anybody. Everything was new, and whew, it was too much. Actually, it was too
Right.
much. Yeah.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think there's something they can do to make that better? When like there's like someone coming from another country or like a different culture like yours to kind of like give them a little, maybe like, even if just like a video of what's about to happen. Do you think that will help?
Yeah, because I remember, like, in Addis Ababa, we had an orientation for a
Right.
few weeks. I mean, for a few weeks, and I can't remember anything. Well, the thing is, we couldn't believe, like, what they were telling us there is actually, like, some of them were true, but we didn't believe it, because we just never been here. And
Or they give you a rotation of what to expect in
yeah.
America. Oh, I
Mm-hmm.
see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But
But
I'm saying, but after you get here though,
mm-hmm.
I mean, you still don't know anything
Oh
at
yeah.
all. I mean, you're from a totally
Yeah.
different culture and you probably don't know, like I said, you don't know where to go for class. You don't know what to do in
Mm-hmm.
class.
Yeah. I think the thing is, there is people that would help, but also they want you to learn, because um, when you learn something in her way, you learn really so fast, and it teach you something instead of just like, if someone just keep like helping you all the time, or
Right.
like telling you something, you're not gonna learn from it.
True.
Like, but yeah, school was really, it was big compared to where I came from.
Right.
But it was really culture shock, like. But I had a good teachers actually. They were helpful.
How was the people?
Um, that's a good question. They were okay. I even have some teachers that didn't really like, like refugee kids. But
Really?
yeah.
Here in the state? Like in Spokane?
Oh yeah, in school. Because like when you don't know something, they'll
Did you
think like you're crazy or you're stupid or you're just dumb.
oh, but
But
they're the one that is close
yeah.
minded, right?
Mm-hmm. But people, yeah, people, there's people sometimes make you feel like sometimes you just want to leave it actually.
Right.
But I don't really pay attention to them.
You have a very interesting life, and I think that's what I was very excited to talk to you because, you know, most people when I talk to them,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just think your experience so uniquely you because you, like for me, I see America in movies, right?
Yeah.
So before I came here, I have an idea of what I thought. It wasn't the same, but you have no idea at all.
Nope.
Like, so did you do the same thing most of us do when we got here? Like the first time you got here, and there was electricity, and it's not gonna go away. Or I'm assuming like in Ethiopia, do they have rational electricity where
Nope.
it's available all the time?
No, we didn't have anything.
No electricity at all?
No, it's a refugee camp. We
No,
use fire, candles.
no.
Yeah.
For 15 years, you never like so you won't have electricity when you go to Ethiopia, right? But you see,
In So the refugee camp was in Ethiopia,
well,
but only when we go to
sorry,
town, to the city.
but
Yes.
not in your.
Not in refugee camp.
So how
No.
was that for the first night when you were here and it's like you can do whatever you want whenever you want?
I remember the night, people from Waterloo came to pick us up, and they took us to the hotel. We didn't sleep actually,
That's
because
what I'm
we were
asking.
we were still struggling like the time, because like, when we were like, daytime here is like at night, is a
Like,
nighttime
right.
back there. So we were still like, when we came here at night we were awake, and then during the day we were sleeping. So that's how we were like, but it was totally, excited and something new, I guess, for me. But it was fun actually. Everything was different, and there was so much laughter. I remember the water leaf, they actually brought fruits and they left them, you know. And my mom was like, "Don't touch them. They don't belong to you guys." We were like, "They just brought them for us." And mom was like, "No."
Yep.
It was fun. There was so many funny stories happen
Right.
when people come here actually. Yeah.
So like now looking back, so what was your first time? It's kind of like for me. I like to ask people like, what was their first like fast food they went to, and how was the experience? If you
Oh,
remember.
I'm I would say we used to eat a lot at home actually, because we had like a really good volunteer family that would
Oh,
were helping us like to cook.
okay.
So like when I was in high school, because I didn't have a job or money like to go out and eat. So but I remember me and my friend, we went to McDonald's,
In
and
Adisa?
no, no, you
No,
talking about
I'm
here or
asking about.
before?
No, I'm talking about here. Like the first after you get to America.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you remember the first time you went to a fast food, or like what was the experience like?
I don't think so.
You guys never went out, huh?
Mm-mm.
So how long did it take you to actually went to a fast food after you got here?
I think maybe a few months or a year.
What do you think? Do you like it?
Um, no, I did not, because everything was it was different, and coming from where don't we don't just eat everything, There is
I'm
some of the
sorry, that
stuff
is
that
so
we
funny.
eat, and some of the stuff that we like. When I came here, I
Mm.
couldn't eat mushrooms and shrimp,
Oh, okay.
because
Shrimp. Mm.
we don't eat them over there.
Yeah.
And so coming here, we there was some food that we first they were like, "Oh, we don't eat that," and then later
You
on
just
we
don't have the
learned.
taste for it.
Yeah, right. And but yeah, I didn't like American food, because when I was in high school I struggled with weight, because when I came
Mm.
here, and I think my first fast food were like from high school. I used to eat a lot of pizza,
Oh, yes, I was asking.
cheeseburger. Um, so I think that's where I
So you
was.
do like after a while, you like
Yeah,
American food after a
yeah.
while,
So I did like it at first.
right?
So like when we came here, I did like it. Also from school, not knowing English, I used to get scared, because they have salad, but it was not enough. There were like people who went first, they will get salad, and they don't have a lot of salad. And another thing, it was like nachos, I think, and you have to like tell them what kind of cheese you want, what kind of meat.
And you can't
And
speak.
I
You
can't
just
speak.
want
I don't even know what is that. So pizza and cheeseburger were like the easiest. I would just
you
go and
just
grab
go.
them and go. So I think but after that I did not like it. I kind of get tired of
Tired
it,
of it.
and it's not healthy. Um Also, like, I struggle a lot with weight,
Right.
cuz like I weighed so much when I came here.
I mean,
Like,
it's so like stress and shock and new
mhm.
culture and all of
Yeah.
it.
Mm, it was too much.
I was eating pizza too when I first got
Yeah.
here. I think it's you go through. It's just so new.
Yeah, I
Domino's
know.
tastes so good. When I first got here, I
Yeah.
remember like, oh man, I get so excited.
Yeah.
But like you too, after a while, it
Yeah.
just kind of fade away.
Mhm.
So after you were here and your family's here, do you still have a feeling that you want to go back to South Sudan at some point? To
Yes, I want to. I've been trying to. I just wanted to go visit, because I have my grandma that I haven't seen for over 20 years.
Got it.
And you know, none of my sibling, I was with her when I was young, and then we moved, and none of my sibling actually, um, saw her. They don't know her, and she's like the only grandma we have. So definitely, I wanted to go and see the country, see family that I never met before, or maybe when I was young, and mostly my grandma.
Just kind of connect back to your
Yeah.
roots.
Mm-hmm.
Same here.
Yeah.
Um, I guess the only home you ever known, it's not really your real home. So like,
Yeah.
kind of make put you in like a weird, in a
Exactly.
weird
Yeah.
spot,
Mm-hmm.
right? So are your brothers also want to go back home as well?
Yeah, they want to, even that they don't know, you know, anything.
The probably the strangest question, is I know refugee life wasn't ideal. I mean, I can't
Mm-hmm.
even imagine it. From the things you've described, just sound
Mm-hmm.
crazy. You make me want to never complain about my childhood. Just the things I mean, it's just crazy. But do some part of you still miss it, or do you just like want to forget even that happened?
um, I do miss it, like having fun and don't have to worry about life, um, just as a kid. But also I don't want to forget it because that's like my story, and it's kind of like helped me in life. Like
Right,
when I look back, what happened to me, it's kind of help. So definitely, I don't want to. I want to remember.
right. I mean, I know life has gotten better here. I guess what I'm trying to get is that because people that are back in refugee camp right now, or people that are back in South Sudan, if any of them ever watch this video, like, how will you describe America from your point of view so far since you've been here?
That's a good question. You mean here? Like, how is life here?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, just like from your perspective, because I think, like you said, like we said behind the
Mm-hmm.
camera before we started this, like how everybody
Mm-hmm.
just thinks like
Oh yeah.
everything is just rosy or everything. I mean, I'm not saying there's no opportunity. I mean, we're all grateful for what we have. It we're super grateful for it. But I guess someone like you can share your experience of like, okay, at the same time, this is the honest opinion of how I'm living
Mm-hmm.
here. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely, it's not easy. It's not easy here, especially like coming from, you know, like for me, coming from refugee camp to big city here is it's not easy. It wasn't easy. And it's not easy. So you just have to like really work and focus, like know why you came here. I think a lot of people will forget why they came here. And when you really forgot why you came here, you just, or if you don't want more from life, you kind of like just forget. And also people think life is easy here because you know I don't know, maybe like just what they see from people or from the movie. Because I remember like one thing I thought was real from here, that I saw from the movie. It was like you can just walk up to any house and the house will be yours because they do that a lot in the movies.
Oh man, you're gonna get shot. This is America, yo.
So you see like what people see in the news and what they learn or from any media or from any person, which is like giving wrong, you know, ideas of how America is. But definitely it's not easy.
So when you mean like you have to stay focused, one more. Are you trying to say that when you get here, you pretty much have everything to make you comfortable, but you kind of have to.
So it's just like when you come here, and because we have like the thinking or how we see America is like before we come here. And then when we are here, it's like, oh, this is different. This is not what I thought America is, right? And then from there, sometime you will lose like focus on, or the dreams. I know like there are some people that like would be in Africa or anywhere, and when they wanted to come here, they have goals, they what they wanted to do. But for me, it was different. I didn't know anything. I didn't even know what I wanted to do. So people would come here, and let's say the life is not easy here, they would lose focus, and
Hmm.
then from there, they will just live,
Comfortably.
yeah.
That's interesting. You said that. I actually haven't seen it. I've not thought about it from that point that it's actually got hard to give up. I think from my perspective is that I just think from an example of, let's go back to what we just talked about,
Mm-hmm.
electricity,
Yeah.
right? Back in Nigeria, we don't have enough electricity. So I remember growing up, I mean, every day when I come back from school, there will be no lights. So I have to go out and play. So when I got here, I quickly realized when I was in college, because you can just stay home and watch, you know, 8 seasons like in a week, right? You
Mm-hmm.
can binge watch things. If you wanna order food, you can call
Yeah.
in. So
Uh-huh.
I just think American culture, for people like us that are coming from a very hard situation, well, not as hard as yours, but
Mm-hmm.
once we get that comfort, it's actually, I think that comfort is a poison for us, because
Yes.
we have every reason to be like, man, I need to chill. I mean, I have some friends that will go out every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I go out and have fun too, but
Yeah.
I can justify celebrating. What am I celebrating? Like, I ain't got that money yet.
Yes. Exactly.
But that's interesting that you said that it's actually from things get hard, because
Mm-hmm.
yeah, how has that been for you? Like, do you think there's a lot of job opportunities for individuals like us here, or what has been your experience in terms of like work?
The work.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's not easy. Like I remember first time, like applied to so many places, and I would say people are different, right? It would depend like what you like to do and your experience, and if that job is for you. And I don't know.
I mean, well, you coming from a place where you don't have an experience, right?
Mhm.
That's what I'm saying. Like, someone like you have no experience, but someone like me have no experience. Like,
Mhm.
people that grow up from here, maybe they were in college, they will work
Mhm.
at fast food or whatever. We didn't have that.
Mhm.
So it takes a different kind of person to kind of understand us. So apart
Mhm.
from our community, which is part African community that would
Mhm.
hired us, I'm trying to ask, like, do you think there's opportunity for us to enter the job first? Does that make sense? What I'm
Yeah,
trying to
yeah,
ask?
yeah. So that happened to me too when I um moved here. I didn't have any experience. My job pretty much was like helping my mom, taking care of my siblings. You know, so but for me, there's like programs out there that would actually help. It depends like how you came here. So like
Hmm.
if you actually came through the organization, they would actually help you, like get a job, and even like which that happened to me. So when I came here and I started looking for a job, I couldn't find any because first the English, the language,
Right.
I had to learn, but also I wanted to, to work, and but it was not easy. But they have this program for refugee who just arrived here, so you have to go to classes. You have to learn how to talk to people, during interview, or how to follow up, how to call, all of that. So, um, and they helped me actually get a job. But
That's amazing.
yeah, my first job was, which is like a lot of people do here, when you come here as a refugee. They'll help you like do the volunteer. You still get pay, but it's just like for 6 months, just for experience, and then from there. So it depend. And I'm kind of like a person that really doesn't get scared of asking for help. So like when I'm really need help, I ask, and sometimes there's people that out there can help.
That's amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
shout out to those kind of organizations,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah,
because
that's right.
that is legit. That
Mhm.
definitely helps a lot. Now,
Yeah.
let's get to like now what kind of brought us how I met you, which is fitness.
Oh my
So
god, I know, right? Can you believe like
that's
sometimes I'm
crazy.
like, how did I meet him? And then
Yeah.
okay, Instagram, right? Yeah.
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 It's kind of crazy how
Mhm.
like how life works. So how did or what got you into fitness, or how do you see fitness now as like part of your life?
Um, I really been struggling like finding what I like to do, or there's one time I had to look back like what I used to do back in refugee camp. And growing up, I play a lot of sports, and I'm a very active person. And also, I try like back in high school, I took a lot of food and fitness classes. You know,
Can I quickly ask what kind of sport you guys play in refugee camp? Can you remember?
oh, we play volleyball. Basket was not really popular at that time, or maybe not for me. But I did a lot of running. I was a runner. Um, and I did a lot of volleyball. That's like my first sport that I had to learn. Like I was 10 running after a ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me and my friends, we will actually go watch the game, and then when the ball ran out, we will like run after it and fight all over. Like we wanted to, So that's like my favorite sport that I like to play a lot, and also growing up, I did play soccer, which is kind of funny because I thought soccer was too much running, and I'm a runner, so
That's
maybe it's
funny.
just running with the ball is just what is hard,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Running with the ball is
Um,
it's funny because I
yeah,
I like running after the ball. I
yeah.
don't like running by myself. I think that's funny. I think that's
Yeah,
fun. I think that's
and then
fun.
we have like guys, like when we take the field and we playing, they will just come up to us like, you guys get out, no girls play, like even my parents or their generation don't believe like women could play sport. I remember like my dad, like I say, he was controlling. He would not even allow me to go play, sports, even with my friends. But still, I had got out of my ways and go play sport anyway when he's not home, just to make sure I have to come back home before or
Yeah.
but yeah, I was a very active person, so I like to be active. So
Nice.
yeah.
So you kind of saying like you were thinking back to refugee camp, trying to figure
Mhm.
out what you were doing because you didn't know what you want to do. So
Mhm.
you kind of remember you're an active
Yeah.
person. So and then so what makes you want to be a personal trainer? Like what makes you want to help? Because I mean, a lot of people work out. People do it every day. Some people really don't care about shooting videos or trying
Yeah.
to help people.
Yeah, which is I did that like a few years ago.
Right.
I was just wanted to work out, and I remember first time I started wanted to work out, like I say back in high school, I eating all these new food. I struggled with weights actually, and from there I had to work out. I remember going to the gym, and this trainer, she asked me so many questions, and also we work out. And from there, it was so difficult. I was like, I don't want to come back, and I never came back again to the gym for like
Really?
for years. And then I try again, it did not work, and then last year, well, before COVID, actually, I was just working out, and you know, that time I never thought of like becoming a trainer. But and then something that I like to do, like I would never get tired of like going to the gym. I would go like every day, and I like the way I feel, after working out. So what actually changed my mind, like becoming trainer, is just I couldn't find like women's like teaching, or doing stuff that like lifting weights. It's not a lot of women do that,
Mm-mm.
and I wanted to be one of them.
That's amazing,
Yeah.
especially women that come from where we come from. Well, probably very few from where you come from. Because
Yeah.
if you think about it, like 7 years ago or so,
Mhm.
you were in refugee camp. Now you
Mhm.
are here trying to be a
Yeah.
trainer. So
Mhm.
I'm really excited for you.
Yeah.
Because I
Me too.
think, like you said, I think that feeling of how we feel after workout, it's
Yeah.
kind of what we're trying to share to people. But I
Mhm.
mean, fitness, it's a hard spot to be right now
Mhm.
because you have to be so many different things. But
Yeah.
I think since you conquer all those things, you can conquer this easily. Um,
I'm trying.
yeah,
Hopefully, I wouldn't give up.
this is what like I'm trying to do stuff like this, you know. I hope we can get it out there so
Mm-hmm.
people can support you. And I think maybe well this is the biggest thing too, is like you have no idea who's gonna see these man, this cat just loves you, huh?
Yeah.
We don't know we don't know who's gonna see who's gonna watch these
Mm-hmm.
either 2 years, 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
whenever from now, or
Right.
who's gonna watch a video. That's the craziest thing about life. And
Yeah.
then they're gonna get motivated, be like,
I
oh, I
know.
wanna be like Elizabeth, you know. So
Right.
that's
Yeah.
crazy. My last question to you before you leave is this. Do you have a South Sudanese name apart from Elizabeth?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
It's a year.
Inyir?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It's like a raindrop, but it's also
Raindrop.
which is like um my dad mom name. So I got that name from my grandma.
That's
Yeah.
nice. That's
So.
beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you say if I'm in South Sudan right now? Well, I guess with Dinka
Mm-hmm.
tribe, how would I say hello?
Like in South Sudan, people speak Arabic or
Right.
English,
Which is
so we should
interesting.
be like, "Salam alaikum."
Assalamu alaikum, that's what I
Yeah.
would say?
Mm-hmm.
I think alaikum
Yeah.
assalam, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow, I didn't know
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
Word.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. Most of my cousins they speak Arabic. Like
All right.
I can't even keep up with them. So yeah.
This last question might not pertain to you, but mine as well. Were you able to catch any music back at the refugee camp, or the style of music that your dad or your mom listened to that is now?
Oh yeah. There
Sorry.
was few. It was
What
few.
is it?
It was language. It was like a Dinka language.
Music?
Yeah,
So
music.
what are they? Is that a different name? Is that a name to them, or is it a style of music that's like you know how we have Afrobeats, right?
Uh-huh.
So like, is it style of music, or is it just like a local
Just
song?
a local.
Like
Just
a
a
local
local
song.
song. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. And then you have to teach me at least a word in Dinka apart from Assalamu alaikum. Well, you said Dinka doesn't have its own language.
That's the language.
Dinka is its own language, right? But you said people say Arabic,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, but how you still say hello in Dinka? If I want to really flex, like I know someone.
I'm not really sure how to say hello, but they would say like good morning, good afternoon.
What's good morning?
Wake up, so wake up is like is asking like maybe like a family.
Is that my phone or your phone? Oh no.
Sorry.
No worries. 1 second.
Or if you want to say good afternoon, like wake up chol.
Say that one. We have to go back. Sorry. Can you please just start
Wake
again?
up chol. So wake is like
I didn't hear the good morning.
The good morning.
Yeah.
Wake up paj.
Wake up patch.
Yeah, wake up paj.
Wake up patch.
So if it's the question is wake up paj. Chak
Wake up-
paj. So there are so many different dialogues in Dinka.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Like up to 5 or more than that. And in refugee camp, because there is just Dinka and we were friends and everybody, so we were speaking like different dialogues at the same time. So when I speak with my cousins who like never been in refugee camp, which spoke like only one dialogue, they will be like, "What are you speaking?"
They just don't understand.
Yeah,
it.
they don't understand.
So it's
Yeah.
wake up part of it.
Wake up pajade.
Wake up part of it.
Yeah.
Oh my god. That was like flew a little bit on the
There
tongue.
you go. I
but-
know. Dinka is not easy. I only speak. I don't really write or read.
Wow.
It's not easy. Well, also growing up in refugee camp, we didn't have time to learn other languages. So
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. I hope we can have a part 2 at some point, or maybe we can
yeah.
got more questions for you. But man, thanks so much for sharing your story. I'm really humbled that you choose me
Yeah.
to air this out. Thank you.
No
That's
problem.
it.
Thanks
Yes,
for
sir.
having